Let us begin tonight, as we always do, with a land acknowledgement. We at Water are on Indigenous land in Silver Spring, Maryland. This is the traditional and contemporary land of the Piscataway and Anacostan peoples. We acknowledge the trauma and injustice toward Indigenous people that is deep in US culture and history. We join in efforts to eradicate it and to make reparations for the genocide it has entailed. Water's work is aimed to bring about social justice. So in this moment of meditation, I invite you to consider the Native people on whose land you sit. May our reflection offer strength to those who follow them. We'll use our typical format tonight. Our presenter will offer something brief, usually 7 or 8 minutes, to spark our contemplation. And for those who are new to this experience, we share the leadership of this group so that we can all benefit from the wisdom and from the choices that people make, both about topic and about resources that they use. And then we'll spend 22 minutes in silence together. And I will begin and end the silence with this sound. So when you hear that, the silence will begin, and when you hear it again, we will complete the silence and enter into the contemplative conversation, that is the conversation that follows this meditation. And as you know, there are many, many ways to meditate. We don't try here at Water to teach one, but we've been very influenced by the kind of simple and pioneering work that Nancy Sylvester has done through the Institute for Communal Contemplation and Dialogue. She's really, I think, helped a lot of people to do something very simple in terms of meditation, whether it's attention to breathing or a word or a phrase that acts as a mantra, whatever works for you, you know that, and you're the only one who knows it. So now I would ask you to mute your phone, that is, say mute your computer, and when it's time to share after meditation, we will unmute ourselves, but that allows us a clear line for the person who's making the presentation. It's good for the video, which you can access later on our website. We also send out some comments or
we can stop early.
afterwards. So if you'd be so kind as to mute your phone, mute your computers now, just use the mute button on the program or the mute on your computer, whatever works best for you. So please, has everyone muted? Maybe not. I think we're still hearing some ambient noise, but and Virginia, you stay right there with everything firing on all cylinders. Great. Let me introduce Virginia Day, who has done some memorable meditations in the past, and there's every reason to expect that she adds another one to her list tonight. Virginia is a palliative care chaplain and spiritual director who brings deep experience and, as I have witnessed, great insight to our midst in a very simple and careful way. She has a background both in nursing and in ministry, which I think gives her a holistic view of persons and situations. I always look forward to your meditations, Virginia, because I know I'll gain some new perspective. And given how this year has started, with Congress in a muddle and a pro football player nearly killed in front of our collective eyes, and with Brazil now imploding the way the US did 2 years ago, and so many problems in Ukraine and the racism in our midst, all the problems that we brought over from 2022, I think we need a blessing. So I look forward, I don't want to put too much on you, but I look forward to your leading us into the new year. So with that, Virginia, thank you, and please go ahead.
Thank you, Mary. And above all, we'll need that 22 minutes of silence, for which we'll be very grateful. So I thank you for this opportunity to be together for our first water community contemplation for 2023. I do appreciate the community, and I know each of you do as well. It's already January 9th, and the respite that we had for the holidays of Christmas and New Year seems far away already. We had, which I am calling the 2 Sundays. We actually remember we had Sunday and Monday. So it was a wonderful gift. But already this week, there are Zoom meetings, there are requests to set up meetings, and others are looking for us with new demands. Since blessing was the theme and the focus for this evening, I started to look for models. So this may be an unusual meditation, and I hope it won't disappoint. In looking for models, I went, of course, to the one that probably comes most to mind in our Judeo-Christian scripture. And that, of course, is from the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 24 to 26. Moses listening to what the Lord wishes him to say. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord's face shine upon you. I am sure in the past, as I have, you have used those words to comfort and be comforted. I found when I tried to locate some models of blessings that the 3 letters M-A-Y, may, seemed to introduce each line. John O'Donohue, in his book, A Book of Blessings, admits that writing a blessing is a difficult form to render. It's a direct address given by care, and he considers it a lost art. O'Donohue then goes on and he writes 180 pages of blessings. So he overcame what he thought was a challenge. Every one of those blessings, somewhere in the body, uses the word may. And each one draws attention to whatever is happening to someone. Those of you who might be familiar with the book would find, there's a blessing for marriage, a blessing for old age, a blessing for the new year, 180 pages of them. But I began instead to browse through some of my personal favorite writings that I've collected through the years. I've cut out and pasted, words or sentences that drew me. And I was hoping that creatively I could take a phrase and just by introducing the word may, I could create a blessing. First, I went to a quote that I had kept about Mother Catherine Spaulding, born 1793 and died in 1858. She was the foundress of the Sisters of Charity of Nazareth Kentucky. And she had a place that she kept returning to, and it was the orphanages that she had founded and that were a particular love of her missions. So to use her word, I created this one line, and it may appeal to you. May you find a place on earth to which your heart clings. I went on then to Kanzeon, the Bodhisattva of compassion. Her insights, of course, are many. You may have seen an image of her with multiple arms, embracing all of suffering humanity. So I took from the understanding of Kanzeon these words that I formed into a blessing. May you be the regarder of the cries of the world. I went then to Beatrice Brutto, philosopher, writer, mystic, and I formed a blessing from her sharing of wisdom with us. May you know how to take your place in creating the universe, and may you make a meaningful contribution to this general improvisation. For this new year, a poem, a line of Lucille Clifton. May you know whose side you are on. I went then to 3 unusual blessing words of Walter Brueggemann. May you be kept off balance. May your imagination be renewed. May you be delivered this new year from amnesia. Perhaps one of those serves as a blessing for you this year. For a long time, I've been drawn to the symbol of doors and doorways, and particularly, of course, as we walk into a new year. I found the words of the U.S. Poet Laureate of 2019, Joy Harjo, a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation. She writes in a poem, and I convert it to a blessing. May you open the door and then close it behind you. Then call your spirit back. It may be caught in the corner and creases of shame, judgment. In this new year, she asks us, may you welcome your spirit back. And a final quote that may serve as a blessing around the theme of the door, open or shut. It comes from the poet Carrie Williams Clifford, entitled The New Year. And so she writes, the new year comes. May you fling wide the door. So with that, with a few of these thoughts that I was able to convert to blessings, Patrice is going to help us and provide a screen for you with some images of doors. And during that time, as Mary said, she'll provide the gong, the sound for us, marking quiet time for wherever that quiet time may take you. If the image is helpful, if not, go with what comes up for you. And the invitation, of course, to be open, to fling wide the door. So, Patrice, if you could help us.
Thank you very much, Regina. A rich, rich, rich offering this evening, this morning. And now, with the image in front of us, we move into our period of contemplation. Thank you very much to Virginia Day for a very rich offering of blessings. There were so many. I'm going to have a special request of Virginia that she might send us her notes and we can compile them into a list of these blessings. Unless everyone is much quicker than I am, I found myself wanting to repeat them and to ponder each one. Virginia, we could do the rest of the year on several of these. It was so lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.